Hello, friend. Today I'm going to teach you how to do a Russian kettlebell swing. We're going to do a two-hand swing. Before I walk you through it, let me show you what a kettlebell swing looks like with two hands. All right, I'm going to leave this in because it's kind of funny. My sweatshirt strings were hitting me in the face. So I'm going to take my sweatshirt off. Maybe you could do the same if you have something whacking you in the face or potentially whacking you in the face today. Okay, so kettlebell swing is kind of like a deadlift, kind of like a plank. It's a ballistic exercise that helps us train our glutes, our quads, our hip flexors. It works power, it works strength, conditioning. It's such a great exercise, which is why we have a challenge to do 100 a day. Okay, so I want this to be a quick tutorial. So when you set up for your kettlebell swing, I want you to make a triangle with your kettlebell at the top and then your feet finishing out that triangle. We're going to take our hands to our hips. We're going to push those hips back. Then we're going to grab the handle of the kettlebell and tip it towards us. So right here, this is our setup position. The last thing I want you to do is to pack your shoulders down and back away from you so that we're really packing our lats. Right here, this is a difficult position to maintain for a long time because we have our quads loaded, our hip flexors loaded, our core is engaged. There's a lot going on. So I'm going to stand up and shake it out. That's our setup position. From that setup position, I usually like for people to hike the kettlebell all the way to their hips and then park it like 3 to 5 times just to get that understanding of where you want to hike the kettlebell. So it's going to go all the way in to your inner thighs. So we have the triangle of the starting position, and then we have this triangle here from your knees all the way up here. And we want to get that kettlebell there when we hike it up. So let's try 3 hike and parks. So finding that setup position, tipping that kettlebell back, all the things. Hike, park. And then let's shake it out. So that's the hike and park 3 times, working on getting that kettlebell all the way up into your hips and then placing it down. I was taking a sip of air in as I was hiking the bell up to my hips. Okay, now we're gonna do a full swing. Let's go hike, swing, back to our hips, park it. Let's do that 3 times so we get the feeling of that first initial swing and then parking it after 1 rep. So our breathing and let's do it with the air kettlebell. We're going to take a sip of air in, exhale as the kettlebell's floating away from you. You're in this vertical plank at the top of the swing. Then we're going to catch the kettlebell back at our hips and place it down. That's going to be the dead stop swing or the power swing. 3 individual swings, one at a time. So here we go. Set it up. 1, 2, and 3. Park it, shake it out. We're creating a ton of tension, and then we want to shake out that tension and be able to be fast and loose right after we're done. Okay, that feels good. Now we're going to go 5 connected swings, which means we're not going to park the kettlebell each time. So setting up that triangle position, hands to your hips, push those hips back. Tip the kettlebell back. Pack your shoulders, pack your lats. Abs are engaged. 3, 2, 1, let's go. And park it. Take it out. Okay, 3 main points I want you to be thinking about when you go through the kettlebell swing. Your setup position, which I already went over extensively. One thing I didn't mention was the placement of your eyes. So just looking on the floor, maybe 5 feet in front of where your kettlebell is. In second position, so setup position, second position is the strength position or your backswing. So I want the kettlebell tight to your hips. I want your hips back. I want your shoulders higher than your hips. I want your knees bent. So we're not in a squat, but we're also not in a very, very, very hamstring dominant swing here. So we do want some depth in your knees. The top of the swing or the stand is here. Okay, so we're nice and tall in a vertical plank, shoulders, hips, and heels all stacked up. I see a lot of this, this. See how my knees are bent and I'm overextending through my hips? That's going to lead to discomfort in your back over time. So it's really important to get to this tall vertical plank position at the top of your swing. Those are the three positions I want you to really pay attention to: your setup, your backswing or your strength position, your stand, or the top of the swing. Other things to think about are your breathing. So inhale breath as that kettlebell comes to your hips. Exhale as you stand. Your timing. So you want to wait and be patient at the top of your swing. You do not want to be in a rush to get right back into your backswing. Gravity is going to bring the kettlebell back towards you. Break at your hips and get another. So the power part of the swing is here. And then we're waiting, we're being patient, back through. Okay. All right. That's your quickie tutorial. I hope that was helpful. Please let me know if you have questions. I'm here for it.